What's good, everyone, and happy Monday to you guys, and welcome back to the TSF Entertainment channel. So tonight we're here to talk about some things. We here to talk about. We have a special edition cigar cocktail hour. Oh man, this is a special edition. We back here tonight to talk to y'all about what's going on with our brother and Will Smith down here at the Oscars. We trying to figure out what's going on. I'm here with my brother tonight, Jack of Joys. We feel strong about the topic, so we want to get out here and see what we're gonna talk about tonight, bro. What's going on?
What's good, man? This yeah.
So first off, how was your day? How was your day?
Per usual, man. It's a Monday. That's all I can say. It's a Monday.
Ain't that the truth?
Leave work, come back to work right now, but we working.
Yeah. We definitely got some things to talk about.
Most definitely, man.
We got a big problem to talk about tonight. What's up?
Oh man, this was brutal to watch, man. Like it's like when I heard about it, I was like, wait a minute. He did what with what and who with what?
Very cringeworthy. Very just
hell no.
Like, what are we doing?
Dude, I had to investigate for myself.
And then he wins an award, and then the crying. I'm like, yo, I get it. For real. I get it. I heard that Chris Rock didn't even write the joke. That, someone else wrote the joke.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. Trust me, I get it. She has alopecia. I understand that.
Right.
And you never know what's on a person's mental. You never know how a person is going to receive a joke. So, but you've worked in showbiz all these years. You've been a comedian. You've cracked jokes at people and stuff like that. But for you to react like this in front of this type of audience, this wasn't the Hip Hop Awards. This wasn't the BET Awards or anything like that. Not that it would have been right for him to do that there. But the audience in which you did this, it was just, I was very disappointed in Will.
You know what? To me, the Oscar is so like minute in this, in this equation for me. Cause I really don't give a damn about the Oscars. Just off the strength of what happened and because of what was said that it led to this. I don't agree with with the alopecia. I'm not even sure if you actually knew it. I read somewhere where it said that Chris Rock didn't even know that she was battling the alopecia. But regardless of that, you kind of know what Chris Rock does for a living. Prior to this, Regina Hall had just made a crack about your relationship. Prior to this.
That's right.
Jada ain't wild out, and say, hey, you know what? You better keep our business out of your mouth and all this other type of stuff, whatever. But Chris Rock, he makes a G.I. Jane joke. All right, aiming at the bald head, not the illness, but the bald head. And Will Smith just casually walks on stage and open hand slaps him. I don't know.
We're joined by our brother, Fresh Your Highness. Fresh, get in here. What's your thoughts on all this?
Oh man, I got a lot of stuff. First off, the first joint, as far as what Will did, like I don't condone it. I don't agree with it, but I understand it. Everybody keeps saying like, there's a time and a place, how they would have handled it, but you don't know how you would have handled it because it didn't happen to you. You're thinking with a clear conscience and a calm mind at that moment. He wasn't. You know what I'm saying? I think it just had between like them jokes, everything that's been going on, as far as, people talking about his children, his family and stuff like that. Because if you saw at the end of his speech, he said, people, celebrities, we're supposed to just smile and take it. So I think when, Chris did the joke, then he saw, because like he's been behind the scenes with Jada, seeing how she been handling it. And when he saw like, it hurt her, he just exploded. Like he just lashed out because you could tell how angry like he really was. And when he come back after he smacked him and he sit down, look how hard he's breathing. Like you could tell, like
He reacted off adrenaline.
yeah, he reacted off adrenaline and just reacted of how you know what I'm saying. Like he just got mad. He looked at us, and people saying like, oh, he laughed at the joke, but I mean, he did. But if you look at him when he laughed at it, it was kind of like a little okay,
He
ha
was trying
ha
to
ha.
brush it off.
Yeah, it was trying to brush it
He
off,
seemed
and then
uncomfortable.
yeah, but then when you see, you know what I'm saying, he turned to his wife, and he probably looked at her and was just like, oh, wait a minute, oh, he disrespected you. Damn, let me go handle this because I'm getting tired of all the disrespect towards you, towards me, towards our family, etc. So I think it was just a boiling point, and I think after, if you also saw the video when they went to commercial break, and Denzel and Tyler Perry was talking to him, you can already see then that like he knew he took it too far because he was already in tears. So you could tell like it was just an emotional boiling point that just happened. Like it just happened. Like like I said, everybody's saying, "Oh, if I was Will Smith, I would have handled it different. I'd have caught him backstage or put him off to the side." And it's like, nah, you don't know what you would have done because you weren't put in that position. Like we don't know how we will react. It's been plenty of times I've seen stuff say, "Hey, yo, you know what? Nah, I would have done that differently." And then it happens to me, and then after I'm calmed down, I got a cool head, and be like, "Yo, I shouldn't have done it that. I should have did it this way."
And you know me, it don't take much for me to go from 0 to 100. So I got a temper on me. I do agree that it could have been handled differently, and I also understand the dynamic of reacting in the heat of the moment. I mean, we've all been there before. Maybe not on such a large scale public platform like this that you just pretty much embarrass yourself on national TV. But we've all been there before. We've all been in that moment in time where we reacted in anger and not thought a decision carefully through. But I guess my question is, how do you think the ramifications are going to go? You think, I mean, I know Chris Rock is probably going to brush it off and he's not going to make a big deal about it. So I don't see a big lawsuit or anything like that coming out of it. Do you think they're going to let him keep the Oscar?
Personally,
I was about to say, go ahead, Jack.
they're probably not gonna let him keep the Oscar.
I don't think so either.
But I think that's I think that's on the smaller scale of things, of what I see in this. Now, don't get it misunderstood. I don't want nobody to get it misunderstood out there where I'm coming from. A lot of people can say how they will handle this situation. It could be a smaller situation. It could be on a bigger scale, how they handle it. And Fresh Your Highness is right. You never really know until you put in that seat and you confront it with situations that's like this. With that being said, with Chris Rock being the person that he is, and understanding his profession, it could possibly go there sometimes. Not saying that this can't be the result of when it possibly goes there, but they're both professionals. So and if I'm not mistaken, I'm gonna have to dig it up. And if I'm not mistaken, not so long back, he was on the Arsenio Hall show talking about somebody with alopecia, and that was Will Smith who was talking about somebody with alopecia. I have to look that up. However,
I'll respond to that. Go ahead, Jack.
However, with him being in a situation, with him understanding his profession, whether you a big man or a big woman, and Chris Rock said something about a big man or a big woman who can't control their weight or get some type of control of their weight, whether you short like Kevin Hart and people constantly making fun of him all his life about him being short and this, that, and the other, understanding the profession and understanding the dynamics of it, this wasn't a life or death situation where, okay, now you're making fun of something that my wife can die from. I don't understand how she may feel about it because I'm not in that position. But due to the profession that they're all in, this is the world that you live. This is in the rap. It's like with battle rap, right? So in battle rap, you can stand in front of somebody and you can say whatever the hell you want during battle rap. You can call them every name in the book during battle rap because that's the type of profession you in. You know this is a comedian. And I hear people talking about, I go to a comedy show, I just don't want to sit in the front because I don't want somebody to fry me. Because I don't want this person to come out and let me have it. This is what Chris Rock does. This is his career. This is his profession. If it was something said prior to that, you know what? She would just lay off of health situation or whatever, which he probably didn't know there was gonna be said. But if something prior to that or whatever, I think Chris Rock would have honored that. But considering that it was shot live, I think that it should have been handled better. He shouldn't have walked across that stage and slapped him. He could have said what he said first as a
from the
verbal
audience,
warning.
right? I would have lived better with that.
And if he kept going,
yeah,
then now we have another issue, because now I set the boundaries and you disrespected my boundaries and you went past the boundaries. So now we got a whole nother issue. But this, nah, bro.
Fresh.
I think in a way they're going to take it from him. However, I don't feel they should, because you have people like Roman Polanski. You got Harvey, whatchamacallit. They still got theirs. And they did we already know what they did. But I think in this situation, more than likely, they're probably going to take it from him just to make a point. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't care, you Will Smith. We're gonna snatch it back. And I mean, like I said, it's difficult because, to be honest, I don't know how I would have handled that situation in the heat of the moment. Like, I really don't know how I would have. I mean, like you said, a lot of people didn't know, although Jada did make a couple of videos, a lot of people didn't know, she had alopecia or whatever. But I think it was more so, like I said, it was a sensitive subject to her. And I think it also buoyed from 2016 when he spoke about his wife when they boycotted the Oscars. Because in 2016, he made a joke about her when she boycotted, and he said, that'd be like me boycotting Rihanna's panties. I'm not invited anyway, or something like that. So, I like I said, I don't even think that there's an underlying beef or underlying.
No, I don't think it's any
issue.
of that.
I think it was just a blow up. And to go back to Jack's, that I saw that video. That video, to be honest, that you're talking about, Will Smith was making a joke about the guy on the Arsenio Hall show. To be honest, and me personally, I don't think that guy had alopecia. I think because the way it looks because you don't even hear Will say anything about it. He just jokes about his bald head, and say he got to shine it up. And he says, of course, at the end, oh, these are just jokes. I feel like somebody put that together just to try to be like, oh, well, you know what I'm saying? To try to defame his character. And that's another thing. I can't bash him because, like, how many times have we seen this? Like, when has Will have really been in the, in the press for negativity? Besides, what's happened recently, with Jada and the whole, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Other than that, you know what I'm saying? Like, bruh, you never hear. So I think it's just a huge blow up that he just had. He that was it. It just ticked him off. He probably had been holding in so much anger, so much hurt from everything that's going on, and he just exploded. But at the same time, though, hopefully, what I'm hoping that it won't be no severe ramifications behind this. I hope, but I have a feeling they more than likely will probably try to take it back.
I mean, at the end of the day, what it really boils down to is everyone has feelings and everyone has certain levels of sensitivity when it comes to things. You can say Hollywood is Hollywood and there's no place for feelings or emotions in Hollywood, but we've seen over the years with several different actors and several different situations where feelings do get involved. And with a celebrity, their looks are their brand, It's part of their brand. It's part of what has amassed them their celebrity status. So, coming to terms with having a condition like that affects your looks, coming to terms with, things that are happening in your marriage and it's been public. So, I can see all those things settling in on your mind. The most thing that I'm disappointed about is the fact of where it occurred at, the event that it occurred at, and the fact that it's two black men that I felt like could have handled the situation even better on camera. But I mean, at the end of the day, I can't necessarily say, well, Will, shame on you for doing this because you shouldn't did this. I mean, hindsight is 2020. And I think all of us in that moment probably would have reacted in a very similar fashion. Whether we would have cursed them out, whether we would have made a scene some other type of way, there would have been a reaction. I don't think anyone with the camera pans to you and everyone's laughing about the joke and, all eyes are on you. I don't think anyone would have just sat there, very poised and, camera ready. So it's a natural reaction. And I think it's a natural reaction to express frustration and anger. But at the same time, sometimes these comedians need to kind of think on some of the jokes that they're cracking on people or whatever the case may be. And if I was Chris Rock, I was like, I don't know about this joke right here. They're in the audience, he's an award recipient tonight. I don't want to, shake up any feathers. But, again, I mean, this man's made a career out of cracking jokes on everyone. I mean, hell, didn't Chris Rock do a movie about hair and hair loss and stuff like that? So I don't think that it was a malicious joke. I don't think it came from a malicious place.
No, I definitely didn't.
Even with the delivery, I don't think the delivery was a malicious thing. It's just a fucked up situation, and it was handled in a fucked up situation.
I can agree with a lot of that. I guess that's when I look at comedy, like unless you kind of like talking about people who didn't pass, like I'm quite sure there's boundaries just set with comedy. Like you're talking about people that didn't pass or people that didn't have some type of element that pass from, from different elements. I'm quite sure COVID is off limits right now. 10 years from later, 15 years from now, it might not be off limits. But, I'm like things have changed from watching Richard Pryor and Eddie Murphy Raw, to watching Kevin Hart,
Right.
now. So I understand that, that time has changed. I also understand that people are human. Things happen. I understand that you would expect this at a Source Awards before you expect this at the Oscars. But hell, yet have we seen? I can't say that I've seen this type of thing happen. At the on the Source Awards stage. And I just felt like I just felt like a lot of the pain and a lot of anger that he has taken on is because of they push his family so openly up to the front of everything, and everything that they do, a lot of us know about that we don't even need to know about. That hell, some of us don't even care to know about. I didn't even care. I didn't want to care about his entanglement with her entanglement with August. I didn't care about that, but it was pushed up to the forefront and thrown in our face so much that all the memes start flying out. Hell, it's multiple memes of this, and it ain't even been 24 hours yet.
Facts.
So some of the anger was created by some of the things that his family pushed to the front. I'm quite sure it's some other things that other families do that will make other families look like, all right, that's a little different. I'm talking about celebrity families. Be like, okay, that's a little different, but whatever, cool, whatever. But they sit at this table and push all their dirty laundry out there and let the public just pick through it.
That's right.
And smell their socks and and they dirty armpits and everything. So yeah, at some point you're gonna get tired of it, but dude, do it better. Do it. You have to. I don't want to say do a better job and try to control that situation because you are a celebrity. So I don't really know how, but at least try to tone it down a little bit. Certain things that you should just keep behind closed doors. Hell, I think Kanye West is, do some weird shit at times, but
at times,
yeah. I mean, for me, I agree.
Before the craziness, when he first got on, I thought he was a regular guy with fresh as hell with the polo. Then it switched. And people say that it switch flipped with his mom passed, so that could have been his trigger. But this right here, if this joke was his trigger, it was something way before that.
That's what I was getting ready to say.
Probably
It's a catalyst, is what it was. It was a
yeah,
catalyst because
yeah.
there's a deeper rooted issue. There's a deeper
Mm-hmm.
rooted issue that he probably needs to come to terms with. You know, and there's been so much things that have been going on in his personal life. You know, we brushed that off, and you know, we moved forward. You know, we have to put this persona on for the public, and we have the perfect ready-made family. So, you know, sometimes when there are issues, they're not necessarily dealt with in real time. You know, they're just
Mm-hmm.
kind of brushed off and, you know, forgotten about and hoping that time heals those wounds. But, you know, it's very evident given his reaction that there's a deeper rooted issue. And it's the center point is the marriage. So the joke being about the wife, it was just throwing gasoline on a fire.
Because Regina Hall just mentioned it, you know, just to mention like,
And that
well,
probably was the trigger point. He
Yeah.
probably because as you and I had to go look. I'll be honest, I didn't even watch the Oscars because I've never really cared about it. But when I
never seen a full
saw
episode.
that she made the joke, and it was like, "Come on, Will," and you see Will was like, "Nah, don't put me in that," and it was like, "Okay, here we go again." So it was just like I think, like I said, it just set them off. But the jump back with Jack said as far as they put it out, I kind of agree to disagree. Like the only reason we know even about the whole August Alsina thing anyway is because he came out first and started speaking on it. If he probably wouldn't have never came out, we probably would have never heard about it. So when he came out and spoke about it first, that's when they started like, oh nah, we got to jump in front of this, and you know what I'm saying, and tell our story, pretty much. Because I think August had even said like Will gave him his blessing and all this other stuff, but it was still at the end of the day, it was like, come on, bro, why would you even put that out there? You know what I'm saying?
That's true, fresh. That's very, very true. But here's the thing. If with situations like that, you know it has a possibility to become messy.
I mean,
You can't trust somebody. You can't trust somebody to say, "Oh, I won't say nothing," you know, and this and another. Especially like you said, when feelings and emotions become involved, you know, whatever. It's hard. It's hard to do. They already said, like with that situation, they already said that there was some other issues that he was already having, and that's why he was staying there to begin with. However, when that was put on the table, that's when the blindfold, and it's not just that. It was about them being open and swingers and stuff like that. It's a bunch of other things that came along with that. That wasn't really even the deal breaker, or even what pushed them to even get to this point to start slapping people. At this point, from looking at this thumbnail, it just seems like, all right, this is my breaking point. None of those was your breaking point, because people have been talking about their relationship for the longest. At first, they was looked at as this power couple. Then
yeah, but I think was like nobody really knew that they were swingers or had an open marriage or stuff. It was always just rumors. And then here comes August, and basically now it's like boom, he done opened up. Yeah, he's opened up Pandora's box. So that's why it was like, oh, they scrambled. It was like, yo, we got to get in front of this. Like, we got to, you know what I'm saying? We got to tell our story, because if he tells it, it's going to, you know what I'm saying? So I think, like I said, I think that's why that's also part of it as to why he spazzed out, because he been dealing with it like not too long ago. What's the I'm trying to think. I don't want to mess up the person name. What's her name? Laverne Cox or whatever. When they was interviewing him, interviewing both of them, and brought up the entanglement joke, and everybody was all, "Oh man, why she go and do that? That wasn't the right time." Now see what I'm saying? Like it's like, yo, I don't understand how you excuse Chris Rock because he's a comedian and made that joke, but she made that joke and everybody was up in arms about it. You know what I'm saying? But I think only reason why so many people, yeah. I think that's the only reason why so many people are up in arms is because, you know what I'm saying, he went and smacked them. But like I've been telling folks, you do not know till you put into that situation, man. It's bad that, you know what I'm saying. It's a bad look. I mean, like I said, but I think it's still at the end of the day, I think both of them will be able to move on past it, and you know what I'm saying, everything will be all good.
Xavier said, but why was Will so quick with the hands when people were calling his wife a predator? Um, I that probably wasn't his breaking point yet. I'm not saying that Will shouldn't have a breaking point. You know,
That's
it's
true.
probably, it's probably, I don't know if he's on, social media platforms, but that's probably haunting him there. He probably going outside, and feels as though everybody is looking at him. This is going to add on to it. Whether you look at it as him defending his wife honor, or it just look like this is adding on to your plate that's already filled, because this is why we are here. I didn't even go lie. When I first saw it, I was like, okay, this might just be some type of stunt in order to get us to talk about the Oscars. Because before this point, I never in my life talked about the Oscars. I really didn't give a damn. I could just tell you what the iconic trophy looks like. Other than that, I didn't care. I didn't care who was on it. The Oscars is not for me. It's for them.
Ooh, I'm glad you brought that up. I'm gonna touch on that later, though. I'm glad you brought that up, Jack.
Yeah, that's just me personally. So that's what I thought at first. Despite the fact that all three of them are actors and actresses, that all three of them can, pull this off, cry at the drop of a hat, and the slap and all of the type of stuff. I thought it was a publicity stunt at first sight. But then when I started looking at it more and more, I'm like, yo, he's really like wilded, at this point. At this point, honestly, at this point, this man Chris Rock should be looking for a fade at this point. Like, he should be like, yo, you open hand slap me, bro. First of all, open hand slap is very disrespectful. Man to man, open hand slap. I don't know what it is. It's just some disrespectful shit to even possibly do. That's up there with the mush and getting spat on. Don't open hand slap me. You open hand slap me across the country, across the world. Across the world.
Xavier, I hope that's not the case. I mean, that's a little too far. If it wasn't on this type of platform, I could see that. But with it being the Oscars and it being their show, not ours, I can't see them going to that extreme just to get viewership up. I mean, and if they would have signed on for that, I would be even more disappointed. I would be more disappointed with that being the case with what really happened or what we saw happen. I can deal with this more than this being a ruse and this being something that they choreographed to do on the show to get viewership up, to get them talking, get a buzz going. If they went to that extreme as black men, as black actors, actresses, I would be very disappointed in that behavior in itself.
I don't think it was.
I hope that it's not.
I don't, because it's like, yo, this is Will Smith. Why the hell would he need to smack? First of all, both of these black men are big known figures. First of all, two, it's like, why would they need to do that in order? You know what I'm saying? Like, y'all are already known. Like, what is that going to do? Because when the Oscars come back around again,
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like, you think that, because what is the Oscars, like every 5 years or so? So you think that
something like that.
From whenever they do it again, it's going to be, oh yeah, let's watch the Oscars now. Let's see who's going to get smacked or who's going to get punched or something like that.
Yeah,
right.
That's exactly why I don't think it's a prank. And I've seen people saying, oh, they trying to do this because Chris Rock is on a comedy tour with Kevin Hart to get his sales up. And I think Will Smith got, and I'm like, bro, neither one of them needs that. Like, they don't need it. Like, what would be the purpose or point behind it? Like, they don't need it.
They absolutely don't. They absolutely don't need it. And like I said, the more and more I started looking into it, the more and more I'm wondering, like what type of tip did Will even come in on to begin with? Was it something that was already there? Did the Regina Hall trigger it? Did Chris Rock actually go on after Regina Hall?
Yeah, he went on after.
Mm-hmm.
So he went on directly after?
I don't know if it was directly, but he definitely went on. He definitely went on after.
T. Lexus says you got to keep defending the person that says that she had an entanglement affair, and then after that says you can't screw, not exact words but perception. Listen, it's like with that, I don't want to like travel back down that down that road, but it plays a part of it in how we got here, I believe, because I, I can't say that for a fact that I know that if that didn't happen, that this wouldn't have happened. I can't say that I know that for a fact, but I feel as though that everything, you are the punchline of every relationship joke.
Yeah.
For multiple years now, you're the punchline of every, and then your kids are becoming punchlines, and stuff like that. So I guess after a while, at some point, everything does come to the head, whether he's a comedian or not. But going up on stage and open hand slapping this man, nah, that's way too far. You don't put your hands on somebody because somebody has said something that, like, it wasn't. Was it really that wild for him to wild? I mean, I guess I can't really describe how you feel about it, but was it really that wild for you to go up on stage and slap him?
I don't
Well,
think
I
it
think
was
it
that
goes back to
wild.
what Fresh was saying. He probably could have brushed it off per se and dealt with it offline. It wasn't until he looked and saw his wife's reaction to it that that just kind of flipped that switch. And it was a short fuse at that point, because now I got my wife sitting here looking at me. She's hurt. She's disappointed. She's embarrassed. I got to represent that. I got to go home with that. I got to deal with that. So, I got to handle this.
It's a lot of other things he had to deal and handle.
Yeah, I agree. This should not have happened here. Backstage in the green room, let's throw hands. I still don't think that violence was the appropriate reaction.
Oh, nah.
But if it came to that, I would rather it came to that off camera and not something where we and others in media networks are tweeting about, putting all this press out about him. Good, bad press is press. I get it, but it's not how we want to. It's not what we think of when we hear Will Smith. Now we know he was a bit of problematic on the later seasons of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. He had some issues with Janet Herbert. They weren't getting along, or whatever the case may be. She accused him of being a diva and all these different things, or whatever the case may be. I'm not so sure what his direct involvement is with the Bel-Air reboot, or whatever the case may be, but the man has had a successful career for years.
They both
so
have.
The idea that he would stoop to this level,
exactly,
publicity it escapes me.
It's crazy.
It's bad comedy if that's the case. So I don't think that is a money grab, because he don't need it. That man got plenty of money. He got plenty of notoriety. He's got plenty of awards. So this is not something he needs to jumpstart his career. It was just a ill thought reaction to a not so funny joke.
Going back to what Fresh said, because he makes a point, because he was like, you never know how you handle it to you in that situation. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, if somebody just walk up and open hand slap me, I want my fate right then and there, on the spot.
Well, yeah, I'm talking about from Will's standpoint, not from Chris.
I'm saying just in general. In general, as a person, you never really Chris Rock took that on the chin, and he actually kind of made light of the situation. He
was so shocked. It caught him off
he
guard.
was shocked, but he just was kind of like, well, this would be the best night on TV or must see TV or whatever the hell he said. He just was kind of like, he was shocked. But what's your first reaction when somebody hit you?
We're gonna run that fade right then and there.
Exactly. You can ask 10 people that more than likely 10 out of 10 of them gonna be like, right then and there. That's, you hit me right then and there. It's happening right then and there. So you right in that sense. You never know how somebody may react to a situation, and I get that. But by them being professionals in what they do, because Will is not a stand-up comedian, but he still plays around with some comic roles, some comedian roles that he even had, where he may have been the comedian relief, or now I don't even want to say relief, because he's not a relief, he's a star. But he Hitch, and he always crack jokes on people, whatever. So with him understanding that it's okay for him to be pissed off. Nothing wrong with him being pissed off. It's far from okay for him to march up on that stage.
Exactly.
And open hand slap this man.
Exactly.
And You got to deal with your own issues, bro. You like at some point we all need to be sitting on the couch talking to whoever we need to talk to.
Exactly.
We do. At some point, everybody could benefit from sitting on the couch a little while and then talking it out. Not say maybe he is doing that, but who knows? He probably put that out in the open too. Charlie probably put that out in the open too. Take whatever it is. Take whatever that goes on behind the closed doors with your family. We already know with Willow and Jayden, this and the other. Take whatever else, and you have to play damage control and realize what it does for your brand and for your family as a business family. So shit like this won't happen because it's unacceptable.
And it's definitely not something that we condone. It's definitely not something that we should condone as a community. But people are human and people make mistakes. And sometimes it's how they move forward and how they move past. If there's a deeper rooted issue, then go get the help that you need to deal with the anger, to deal with the hurt, to deal with whatever it is that's going on in your personal life that allowed you to make such a poor decision. Okay, deal with that first off. Second of all, sometimes we sit here, we point the finger and say, well, you shouldn't have did this, you shouldn't have did that. But it goes back to the theme of the conversation that we continue to say. We don't know how we would react. We can say that right now, but we do not know how we would react in the situation. Me personally, I probably would have cursed the fuck out. That would have been in poor taste as well. But anything is better than going up on stage and national TV and slapping shit out of this man. I mean, that is just that's unacceptable.
Yeah, it's very unacceptable. Like I said, man, I don't condone it. I don't condone it at all. He was wrong, but at that same time,
George, you are absolutely right. And he is a role model. He is a figure that people have looked at with that has had aspirations to be like him and admired him. Will has been a very he's been a very positive role model for the Black community as Black actors and surviving as long as he survived in the industry. That doesn't mean that he's not allowed to be human at the same time. As all these other things has happened in his personal life, it's just a moment of weakness that just he succumbed to.
Well,
and I think it's hard for us to be strong Black men, period, regardless of whether or not we're in the life, we're in the celebrity life, if we're on camera, off camera, whatever. It's Black men in the chat. Come on, y'all know how hard it is for us to be a regular Black guy. You are always under constant scrutiny. You're constantly being judged. You can't live the life that you want to live. I mean, there is so many different things that we have to be reticent about in our normal lives. So add the celebrity status to that, it makes it even harder for us to be able to live our life in any type of privacy, to live our life in any type of normalcy, in the things that we do or don't do are not judged and critiqued by others. So, for the fact that, he's human and shit happen and fucked up shit happen, sometimes we all as 40-something year old men still make mistakes in our life that we have to learn and grow from. But
definitely.
At the end of the day, we also need to learn how to recognize when one of us is slipping and falling, and I need to reach for you, my brother. I need to pull you up. So, that's why I say that whatever issues that he has, he needs to get someone to help him step through those issues and not allow something like this to happen again. What's up, Marvin? Get in here and tell us what you feel about all this.
What's going on, fellas? What's going on, TSF chat?
Yo, what's good?
What's going on, fellas? Dame, as well as I know, being a married man, you know what I'm saying? Like, this right here, to me, I see it from both perspectives. And this is what I mean. Like, when I sent the link to you guys, like, man, did y'all see this actually happen? And we didn't think it was real at first.
That's right.
And we like, wait, was this a joke? Was it an act or whatever? And just seeing what took place, once I've watched it like 5 times, I'm like, oh wait, this was for real. You know, I looked at it from Will's perspective, and you know, I was just like, wow, could that, you know what I'm saying? Would I would have, would me personally, would I have went that far? Me personally, I think I would have kept it kind of player. I think I would have walked up there, put my hand over the mic, and told him like, hey, look, check this out. When this is over with, me and you gonna have a different conversation about this, because I wasn't feeling it. You know, that's me. I think, you know what I'm saying? I also feel like where you did it at is where I'm gonna handle it at. It's like you embarrassed my wife on national TV, so I'm gonna embarrass you too.
Exactly.
As black men, bro, personally, Chris went too far. He should have basically known, like, it's been known for years now that she's self-conscious about that, about the alopecia. He went too far. Since earlier today, I feel as though, you know what I'm saying, he has apologized. He didn't want law enforcement involved. So that was an acknowledgement of him saying, hey, look, I screwed up. You know, whatever. Will got up there, his cry, his spiel, you know what I'm saying? Denzel, you know, shout outs to Denzel, because Denzel, you know, he like the OG of acting when it comes to the you know, it comes to this. And for him to pull him to the side and say, hey, look, check this out. You know what I'm saying? And get him right. And he got up there and accepted his award and everything. I just feel like, man, like right now, it's like everybody's making oh well, it's jokes. Well, we gotta learn where the line is at. You know what I'm saying? That line was crossed. He acknowledged that he crossed the line. Most comedians have certain MOs and certain material that they go and they, you know, that's how they make that punchline. That's how they get that laugh. That's how they do their thing. Chris always been known to take things too far. Always. So for it to happen the way it happened, just know personally that this one right here, especially with Will and Jada protesting for so many years, to have a sense of diversity to the Oscars and everything, you know, having the Oscars, having a diversity at this award, and then for them to have blacks, you know, basically put the whole thing together, it'll never happen again. It's over with. It's a wrap. We gave you one try, one opportunity, and y'all.
Nah, see, with that,
No.
here's the jump, what you saying, Jug. Here's what I don't get. And this is something that's been bothering me about the entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen so many folks saying, oh man, Will set us back 25 years. We never gonna be able to do this. We're not gonna do that. Here's what I don't get though. So for years you've been saying the Oscars, the Grammys, they not for us. They don't, you know, they're not about our culture. So my thing is like this: if that's the case, why do y'all care so much that you want acceptance from these people that y'all say don't like you, don't
Good
like
point.
your culture,
Great
don't
point.
accept you? So why the hell do you care?
Great point.
Like why do you care about it? Why do you feel that you need that acceptance from the Oscars? You need that acceptance from the Grammys, because you don't need it. But for some strange reason, it's like you just feel like, oh, we need this. They gave this to Will Packer and all of this to, in my opinion, I'm gonna say this. I feel like they just gave it to them to say, oh yeah, here, y'all shut up.
It's
Y'all been going,
It's a permanent back.
Listen, y'all been going on and on for
Exactly.
years. We don't have no black people, this and that, the third. Okay, here, shut up. Because I guarantee you, and I almost feel this way, that even let's say this smack never happened, I guarantee you the next year it wouldn't have been like this.
No,
It would have
Bingo.
been somebody totally different. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, is it Uchi Wally Wally or is it one Mike? Like, do y'all want the
Speak
acceptance
on it. Speak
from
on it.
the Grammys and the Oscars, or do y'all not? Because at the end of the day, we don't need them. It's also sad that he's only the 5th black male to win an Oscar, and the fact that he's just getting one is also sad. But at the end of the day, we don't need them. We got our own, but the problem is we don't support our own because we got the
Yeah.
NAACP
Why
Image
Denzel had to
Awards
be
that come
crooked before
on.
he took it.
Yes, NAACP awards come
Hey,
on
I
all
was
the
just-
time.
the fact of the matter is that we don't carry our awards. We don't wear our awards with honor and
Exactly.
esteem and respect for it. So I get an NAACP award, whoop-de-doo, but I get an Oscar. I've arrived. No, you arrived before you got here. Before
Right.
you got on this platform of acceptance, you were already there.
And
So
I was just about to touch bases on that. Fresh.
Yeah, we need our own Oscars.
With
Shout out to Kiwan.
with what he was saying, what you were saying. Denzel had to play Alonzo Harris before he actually got one.
That's right.
Like that man catalog ain't long.
Holly had to get popped before she took it.
Look how long his catalog is. Look how long Will's catalog is.
Monster ball.
Yeah.
Right.
But that's just the way it is.
He's just not getting an Oscar now.
Listen, if Denzel doesn't win an Oscar for Remember the Titans, are you shitting me? He don't win one for Remember the Titans. We had to wait all the way till he became Alonzo in order to win one. Like,
That's right.
we don't
That's right.
Here's the thing. So here's the thing. There's a touch up on the whole Oscar awards. To start with, Black excellence as far as being an actor, and as far as what you do it and try to get the validity from the Oscar awards. We don't need that.
Yep.
None of that is needed. You want to know why? Because that doesn't really solidify. That's just pretty much a bunch of people who said they could vote for the Oscars is pretty much saying that you deserve it. The people that's behind the scenes pretty much it's like winning an MVP. Aaron Rodgers winning MVP over and over and over and over and over again. He still freezes up during the big game. It doesn't matter. It's just a bunch of people that's voting for him to win this shit. It's the same. It's like we just have to change the mindset as far as that go. So shit like this won't be a thing.
Exactly. That's my point. That's what I'm saying. I don't understand why the hell do so many people, because like I said, that it rubbed me the wrong way to see people, oh, he set us back 25 years old. I'm like, are y'all serious? I'm like, it's shit that we do every day as regular black people that set us back. Get on Twitter, get on Instagram, and see the foolishness that people tweet and people reshare, people post, fight, and doing all this shit every damn day.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all trying to say that this?
Yes.
I'm like, nah, come on, man. Like,
yes.
But I get why it's warranted. I get why it's warranted because it was the first black produced. It was so much black excellence.
And why did this have to happen in that moment?
Exactly.
Why?
So I get why it's warranted.
Which is why so many people felt as though it was staged. You know what I'm saying? Like some people like, man, I can't believe
maybe not staged or as much as premeditated. How about that?
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Again, we're going back to the fact that Chris Rock did not write the joke. So how much of it was premeditated for a reaction as it was staged?
But you see how when he started in on those jokes, the constant camera was on Will and Jada's reaction the whole entire time.
Mm-hmm.
The whole entire time. Even when his previous joke, you saw him laughing. You saw him laughing. Here it comes. Boom. Up. It ain't so funny now.
Kewan, you right about that because I'm gonna give Will Packard credit where credit due. But Will Packard has been out there hungry and working for a long time. Mm-hmm. I mean, we can go all the way back to Motives with Shamar Moore and Vivica Fox released straight to DVD movies he did. He did a series of those, Twas and Twa 2 and 3 and all those. So, his level of producing has never been on the level of Oscars. Has never been Oscar award winning movies that he's produced. He's produced good movies. He's produced enjoyable content, but not on the level of Oscars. And I'm not trying to take the man's accolades or his flowers away from him. I love to see a successful brother doing his thing and getting recognition for it. However, it does say a lot when Will Packard is your first.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's saying a lot, and that's why I feel like, yo, this was their gimme. Like, yo, here, give this to them so they can shut the hell up.
So they can shut the fuck up. Yes.
Yeah, that's all it. That's how I felt it. That's all it was. Because if you look at it, they kept, like you said, go back to 2016 when Jada kept saying there's no diversity, and it was the Oscars are white and all this stuff. We get this one. This one, if you want to get technical, this wasn't diverse because like at least about 95% of everything that went into it was black people. So you see what I'm saying? It's like if you want to get technical about it,
it was no gray area. It just went from one extreme to the next extreme.
It was like, yo, let's give this to them now so they can shut up and we don't have to hear about it. Because then if they say, oh, well, you know, the Oscar, they still catering to a certain audience, it's gonna be like, wait a minute, we just gave y'all a whole Oscar show in 2022. We gave a black producer. I forgot. I think one of the writers or the assistants or something was black. They had D Nice, DJ Most, a lot of women DJs, a lot of black people who were announcing the awards and stuff. So that's what I'm saying. It was black excellence, but at that same time, how I looked at it, and like I said, I haven't watched the Oscars in fucking years, but just looking at it, it just felt like this is a gimme for all y'all to shut up. So we can stop hearing about it. So we can stop, you know what I'm saying, hearing all this. That's how I looked at it.
Oscars never got one view from me. I never was interested in seeing the Oscars. Like I said, the only thing that made it interested I didn't go say interested. The only thing that was wild for me is that this situation occurred between two black men and their own respective professions. You know, let it get to this point where one of the most viewed award shows, this happens. It's just a lot.
I do agree, though. I think that it's going to be a while. I think it's going to be a while before we get it again. I think it will be a while before we get this again.
Oh yeah, I definitely agree with you, CG. I'm not gonna say like fresh shit. I'm not gonna say this set us back because, like he said, it's so much that goes on in the world every day that you can say, well, damn, that set us back. Well, that set us back. Well, that set us back. Oh, damn, that was stupid. That set us back. And to be off a subject for a second, but at the same point to make that point of setting back, I'll use personally, just personal experience and not even personal experience, but my experience of being on social media the last 2 years between 2020 and basically beginning of 2022. I seen so many of our people with how-tos on how to scam the fucking government.
Yeah.
On how to scam the government.
That's a whole nother show, because don't even.
It's a whole nother show, bro. But I'm
started about them motherfuckers and there's SBA money.
But bro, it's a whole nother show. But you know what I'm saying? I'm using that as just an example.
I feel
you know what I'm saying? Like, and then when you the hater, if you say, man, shit, I didn't do it, but I know you know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers gonna get caught. The government ain't giving you shit for free. Nothing. You're getting caught.
To answer Xavier's question, how diverse do y'all think this was?
What I'm saying diverse, I'm saying as far as behind the scenes. Yeah. Like there was a lot of behind the scenes. Like I said, Will Packard, there were a couple of also black producers, women as well that had production in the show. Like I said, there was a lot of black women DJs that was there for the thing, as well as D Nice. And then, like I said, you got the presenters. I wasn't saying like as far as like the folks who were winning the awards, It was more so the behind, because that's what they kept saying. Like, oh, they going to a different audience. They don't care about us. So that's when they was like, okay, since they say they're not, let's get all these people, which I feel like that was one of the reasons probably why they got D Nice, because look where he's at right now from the pandemic. And they like, oh, there's somebody from the culture. This will get them reeled in. And they just put us in there because they wanted the culture to view it, to get that audiences. So many people kept saying they don't cater to us, and it's like, okay, bam, now we catering to you.
Yeah,
it's just, man, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole perspective has always been table scraps. You know what I'm saying? Here, take this and shut up. You know what I'm saying? This is what you get. It's it. This is it. This is all. You know, like the Super Bowl again. The Super Bowl was mentioned in the chat. Dope presented, dope halftime show. But even some of our people was just like, man, why they couldn't add this person? Why they can't add that person? Why they couldn't do this? Why they couldn't do
I heard so many why the game wasn't in it.
Why the game wasn't
never enough. It's never enough. So the take this and shut up is never enough.
Exactly. So it's to take this and shut up. You know, with the whole perspective of the Super Bowl. So many people call Hov a sellout for the move he made with the NFL. And then when you get some of the stuff that you're getting, it's just like, oh, okay, now I see what happened. All is forgiven. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, and to a certain extent, we are our own worst enemy. You know what I'm saying? Like, some people don't know how to uplift. You know, some people don't know how to uplift. Like, if one of y'all feeling down, and we got our group chats. If you say if CG say he having a bad day, I'm gonna reach out to him. Hey, bro, look, how you doing, man? He might say, hey, man, you know what I'm saying? I'm good, bro. I'm good. I just don't, you know what I'm saying? I just want to get it off my mind. Me, I'm a persistent person. So I just, hey, maybe you want to talk about it. Maybe you don't. You know what I'm saying? But if I'm here, I'm here. We got to stop having, as a people, stop having the crab in the bucket mentality, man. Like, right. You know what I'm saying? You can't see.
I want to reach back on something that was said in the chat, hey, though. That's something that's been said a couple of times.
Hey, before you pop off real quick, Jack, I would I'll let you, just to let y'all know, Will finally put out a public apology to Chris Rock. He just posted it not too long ago.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I'm about to go.
But you know, but it was said a few times. You know, we put
yeah, Jug.
That we uplift. You know, that we uplift these people and we put them on a different pedestal. I guess my question is, why? I guess that's my question, because if you like, the way I look at things is that, especially with being famous, me personally, I would definitely want to be rich. I would never want to be famous. Who wants to deal with that? That's a headache in itself. But why do we put, you know, people like Will Smith, you know, on his pedestal? I'm not saying that the way he reacted wasn't human or anything like that or whatever. It happens. What I'm saying is that when you're in your profession, this is part of his profession, that you should be able to conduct yourself professionally at all times. If he was in his house or something like that and he said something and Will popped off and smacked the hell out of him, and it's something completely different, you know, or if it was, you know, somebody might have had a camera on you while you were in the streets or whatever, and somebody popped up. It happens all the time. We didn't see, Lord rest his soul, Nip slap a couple of people. You know, Hov just snatch cameras out of people with fake, you know, hands, because he said he just don't want to be bothered. Move the camera. Oh, you don't want to move the camera? I'll move it for you. That's one completely different thing. I mean, but when all the lights are on, all the cameras is pointed towards you, it's showtime.
And it's not fair to put this on him, and it's so not fair. Even though I'm going to say it's not fair to put this on Will, but it's how we are looked at. It's how we are viewed. It's how we are allowed to travel in certain circles. Look how this represents us. You know, and I just wish that he would have just used just a little bit more.
Like I said, we could have kept it playing. You could have.
That's the thing that I'm most pissed off about, is it is not fair to put that on him. It's not fucking fair to put that on him. he doesn't represent every black man in America.
Exactly.
But you know what's being said. We let them come up to the Oscars. Look how they act.
That's my point right there. We let them come to the Oscars. We get they here. Now look.
Get their ass on up out of here.
Now look.
And the point is, we don't need it.
We don't need it. We don't.
Hey,
like
so I pulled up the apology, and I'm gonna read it. It says, "Violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Awards was unacceptable and unexcusable. Jokes at my expense are a part of the job, but a joke about Jada's mental condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally." I'm gonna hold on right there. I just talked to basically one of my brothers, Trey. He actually said to me on the phone today when we had a conversation about this, that some men will react on emotion. So it says, I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line. I was wrong. Let's see. He tagged Chris in it, so I'm trying to move the tag. All right. I'm embarrassed that my actions were not indicative of a man I want to be. There is no place for violence in a world of love and kindness. Then he says, it's two pages. So it says, I would also like to apologize to the Academy, the producers of the show, all of the attendees, and everyone watching around the world. I would like to apologize to the Williams family and my King Richard family. I deeply regret that my behavior has stained what has been an otherwise gorgeous journey for all of us. I am a work in progress. Sincerely, Will. That was 2 hours ago.
I'm gonna take a minute to digest that one in a minute.
I mean, I don't even need it because I knew, like I said, from and speaking for somebody, and I'm not gonna put like my business out there really, but I saw the signs immediately of the breakdown. The first one was when he came back and sat down, and this was before his outburst. You can see how hard he was breathing. And that right there let me know, like, oh yeah, he beyond pissed. Like he blacked out for a moment.
Yeah,
and then when he yelled twice, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth. And he said it twice with authority. I'm like, yeah, like yo, he's spazzing out. And then to go and see the video where there is doing the commercial break, and he's already in tears when Tyler Perry and Denzel are talking to him. It was like that moment it clicked. Like, oh yo, damn, I messed up, yo. Like,
why they ain't get him out of there?
I shouldn't have done that.
That's what they needed to have done. That's what they needed to have done. Get him on up out of there. Yep.
That's why I can't agree with that. I can't agree that Will felt it was okay to hit another black man.
That's what I was getting ready to say too, Bar. I don't feel that way because I feel like the reaction would have been worse if it wasn't a black man.
Exactly, and that's what and people keep trying to make it.
I feel as though here's my we've been hearing about this all day, talking to several different people, thousands of opinions. Here's my thing. If it was anybody else, they was hitting his pockets and they was filing charges. Simple, period, fucking point blank. Period.
I can't say if it was anybody else, because it wasn't. It was Chris Rock, so I can't even go based off of. That because, like, at one point I formed an opinion, and I was like, "You felt disrespected." Imagine if there was Corey Holcomb up there, then you would have got violated. Your whole family probably would have got violated verbally. So I can't, but I had to retract that statement because I'm like, well, it wasn't Corey Holcomb because it was Chris Rock. I just feel as though that the situation. The situation just kind of aligned itself for it, and you could have he could have either went left. It was a fork of the road. He could even went this way. It could have went that way. And he chose the violent route. Like you said, you could have went up there. You could have grabbed the microphone and say, "Yo, we'll talk about this a little. We'll talk about this a little later." He could have had his outburst, from his seat and said, if you said did, you know, keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth, then, you know, it probably would have been, you probably would have got reaction to it, but it probably would have been more so Will stood up for his wife because he didn't like the jokes, not Will put his hands on, you know, Chris Rock because Will didn't like, you know, because Will didn't like the jokes. You know, it probably would have been less. It probably would have been less of a media press. It definitely would have been media press, but it would have been less if he just verbally would have said something instead of you reacting off of emotions and putting your hands on somebody, walking up the stage with all the bright lights and putting your hands on you. You have to know where you sometimes you just got to know where you got to know where you at. Somebody can say something disrespectful in the courtroom, and I have seen some situation where it lashes out, you know, whatever. But you have to know where you at. You have to be mindful. You have to be mindful of what's going on, regardless of it's the Oscars. This could have been the BET Awards. Don't do that shit.
Right. Exactly. To address Barbed Wire, she said, Barbed Wire says Will needs to slap the guys that slept with Jada. Chris Rock respects him and cares for them. To address that, with the way they say their marriage is, and you know, everybody has their different things. Hell, this is Hollywood. So they do the shit however they best see fit. Everybody is cool with this open marriage shit, open relationship shit, to somebody slight it and somebody fucking get hurt. Then it's all, well, you know what? That ain't cool. That ain't it. I've had so many conversations with that as far as the August Alsina thing. And that's so damn crazy because it's like, so as a man, I'm putting my hands on another man because my woman consented to be intimate with this man. No, you don't do that. You don't do that shit. That ain't cool. That ain't it.
Exactly. And another thing is, people keep saying, "Oh, how do y'all know he didn't put hands on August?" You don't know. You know why? Because it was behind the scenes. You don't know what Will is done behind the scenes. The only reason you know this is because it was on live TV.
It was on main. It was for the world to see. It was for the world to see.
I think August would have put it in the song, but that's even by him not putting hands on him. That's one thing, but the fact that you let that spill over into this because of the situations that your family put your brand and who you are in. It shouldn't have led to this, regardless if he put hands on August Alsina or he didn't put hands on August Alsina. It shouldn't have led to this, regardless if it was consensual that happened. And you know, it just so happened that August Alsina got hurt, which could always be the situation with anything that you do, because you can't control what anybody else say, unless you got some type of paperwork, unless you got some type of documentation that's in writing that says that this can happen to you if you spill this out. You know, I own the royalties to your music or something like that. Other than that, he could make 4 albums about it and nobody can say anything about it. The fact is, that situation was already is dealing with somebody, a person that was vulnerable in his emotions, and he spiraled out of control when the situation didn't go the way that he thought it was about to go. It was about to get ready to go.
Exactly, because
so that situation happened like that. And go and put hands on Will,
and because
hands on Jada
and Jack, to say that nail on the head, because with that whole situation, Jada never mentioned it until August actually said something first.
That's what I've been telling folks. They keep saying, "Oh, they put it out there."
He never mentioned anything about it. He mentioned it.
He brought it up. So of course, since he brought it up,
messy.
They got to step in front of it and they got to take it. Now they got to, you know what I'm saying?
They
didn't have they did have a choice, but it was like, yo, I'm about to do this because you're not about to play with my name and do all of this stuff. So it was like, that's why they put it out there. And they even let it be known, if I'm not mistaken, that during the time all that happened, they were separated. And like you said, Jug, permission was granted. It wasn't like, you know what I'm saying?
That's
These
all
were
I'm
consenting
adults. Man. Come on,
That's
Abby.
all I'm saying, bro.
Come on, Abby.
There she go.
What we doing, Abby? What we doing, Abby?
Go back to your ministry, Abby. Abby, go back to your ministry.
Listen.
What we doing?
Listen, bro, it's no way in hell. Listen, let's put it this way. Him and Jada, whatever they did, made amends. They moved on from it. That's none of our. The only reason it's still none of our business, even though we know the shit happened because it happened on her platform. That's the only reason we know it happened. You know what I'm saying? If he chose to move forward from that and not throw in the towel, that's Will's decision. But who are we as a people, as anybody, to dictate who should get slapped and who shouldn't? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not putting my hands on a man on another man if you slept with my wife, but my wife consented to it. Bruh, it takes two. It takes two.
Regardless of him putting his hands on it on August Alsina, I think part of that situation kind of bled into this situation. That's why I think. Well,
last night we basically saw Will's breaking point.
Yeah.
Yes, that's basically what we saw.
Y'all done took shots at this man, kids. Y'all done took shots at the man's wife. Y'all done took shots at him. Basically, last night was the straw that broke the camel's back.
It was a boiling point. It was a boiling point.
And unfortunately, it happened for the world to see.
Unfortunately, they just go with the territory, though. They just come with the territory of being famous. People are gonna try to pick your life apart, you know, or whatever. And just because Will was looked at as the upper echelon, right? He never been in the news for nothing bad. You know, you never heard about him tax evasion, no crazy shit like that. Only thing that we know is his relationship with his wife is messy. You know, and his kids, you know, have a certain way they like to express themselves, you know, whatever. So when this happened, yeah, of course it's put it up under the microscope and it's picked apart, you know, this way and that way. But it's kind of part of the territory. Like you gotta kind of play, you know, damage control. You hear stuff about Diddy all the time, you know, but it's kind of like controlled. It's kind of like damage control. Hell, we didn't hear about J. Cole and Diddy fight. I didn't hear about it, J. Cole and Diddy fight until J. Cole mentioned it. I was like, I didn't even know about it until it was, you know, until it was mentioned. That's damage control. The Jay-Z and Solange thing or whatever, you know, they did as much damage control as they possibly could. With Will and what's going on in his family, there's pretty much not that much damage control there as far as the eye can see, as far as what they put in front of us. So when Regina Hall goes on here and pretty much says Will is available, you know, I'm quite sure I got your consent, Jada. I'm gonna hit on your husband pretty much in front of you. I'm quite sure I got your consent. It's kind of like, all right, that was the first jab, right?
Yep.
Now Chris Rock comes behind, he follows up and he says something different. But that part of their relationship was put out by them. That joke probably would have never happened. That Regina Hall would have even made it, knowing that they were swingers of this and the other. They could have controlled that.
I don't know about that.
They couldn't, Jack, because August put it out. Now, hold on. I wanted to go back to the Abbey. Yeah, we're not saying last night had anything to do with August Alsina. We're talking about as far as everybody saying like he should have had that same energy for August. And it's like, we don't know if he did, but like to go back to what Jug said, they were consenting adults. Hell, Will even said, I think in a interview not too long ago, maybe like a couple of weeks, maybe a month ago, he said, there is nothing that I don't know about literally in our marriage. He said, with Jada, he said, there's nothing I don't know about, which means he already knew. He probably knew about it while it was happening. And let's say he didn't, but he knew about it afterwards. So It's like he already knew about it. So I'm not understanding why everybody keep trying to throw the whole situation with their marriage about it. It's like, yo, he knew.
So did August put it out there, or did August confirm that they into swingers? Because you hear stuff about celebrities all the time. Like we heard that the game
August aired it out, bro. He aired it.
we heard that the game ain't like me, but you still could play damage control on that. Just because he aired it out, that don't mean that you cannot play damage control on that. You made it okay. You made it okay for Regina Hall to go up there and make those comments. So now you no longer playing damage control. It's we put our business out here and you put it out there for you to be the butt of everybody's jokes. That's just the way that it is. And that's what I mean by damage control.
Bro, last night they were a straight punchline.
Yes, and it continues to be a straight punchline.
They were a punchline, bro.
Yes, but it's like this, yo. At some point, when does it end? Because how long ago was the August Alsina thing? Like 2 years ago, maybe?
Yeah, that was
so it's like,
2018, 2019.
So exactly. So why in the world are we even still talking about it now in 2022?
Because
this is the way it is.
It's easy to connect all this. And he's angry about this, and he's angry about that, and he may be still harboring some anger about that whole situation.
I never dealt
2
with
years later to react to it, last night, they're two different situations.
You could tell last night that it's a lot of shit he hasn't dealt with. You know what I'm saying? He's just been going out throughout his days. You can tell. That was a breaking point yesterday, man. Listen, if you go from being a punchline and people you laughing right along with the people who's cracking a joke about your marriage, that's cool. Ha ha ha. But then when it comes to this situation and Jada rolled her eyes, Will was laughing at a joke, but then it's kind of like, oh shit, wait a minute. Too far. Time out.
Flag on the play. Now I gotta check your ass. That right there was like, oh, okay. You can tell the whole breakdown of it. Because in that moment, like, I told him, I said, man, that wasn't Will. That was Mike Lowry, bro. You know what I'm saying? And it's not to really crack, it's really not to crack a joke, but at the same time, it's like that man is at his end with it. Like, you can tell he ain't addressed none of that shit that them went on. He tired of being the butt of everybody's jokes. He tired of his family being the butt of everybody's jokes.
It's not the first time he just slapped somebody. He slapped the dude for trying to kiss him.
But why did that happen though? Because they heard that possibly he that's what I'm saying. Certain it's just certain shit that they make is okay. Like certain shit shouldn't just be okay. It shouldn't be okay for Regina Hall to go up there and in a comical way make a pass at Jada's husband like that. You know, like it shouldn't be, but you made it okay. So Chris Rock probably thought it was okay. Like you made fun of their lifestyle. So Chris Rock probably thought that it was okay in itself. And it led to this. If you ain't wild out on Regina, Jay didn't get up and wild out on Regina, you made it okay.
I get what you're saying, Jack, but I think at the same time, it was like one of those joints where it was like they knew that at some point somebody was going to joke about the whole entanglement thing. Like they knew. It was like they automatically knew.
They expected that to happen.
Expected that. But what they didn't expect was somebody
with
to
the
joke about a medical issue that's been hard for them, that they've came out and expressed how hard it was for them dealing with it. So it took a whole different turn, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, I knew a little bit about alopecia, but I did a lot of reading on it last night. Alopecia can turn into a serious anxiety issue. From anxiety issues, it can turn into depression. We all know depression can get real bad.
Not only that, it can also, depending on how bad your immune system is, it can also kind of attack your immune system.
Yeah. I mean, the thing about it is, I mean, it's easy for us to sit here and say what should have happened, what shouldn't happen,
should have, right?
What caused it to happen and what didn't cause it to happen. I mean, at the end of the day, it was just poor judgment. It was a poor joke, poor judgment, and you know, shit happens. You know, I'm glad that he's apologized for it, and hopefully they can move past this, and hopefully the rest of the world can move past it as well, and let this man be a man, and let this man live in the fact that he's made this mistake on national TV, and he's going to have to come to his own resolution with that. Nothing anyone can say that's going to make him feel better about what he's done, you know. And violence is never a solution to solving a problem, you know. But sometimes we see people make that decision to choose violence.
And that's some shit you can't. When you choose violence, that's some shit you can't come back from.
You hear that, Ebony? You hear that, Ebony? When you choose violence, you can't come back from it, Ebony.
That's some shit you can't. I mean, even if it's just you handing somebody a thorough ass whooping,
yeah,
at the back of your mind, you still probably gonna say, "Man, I know they deserve that ass whooping, but how can I handle? How could I have handled that better?" You know what I'm saying? Especially when your kids is visually seeing you whoop somebody's ass or do something to somebody. You don't know how that's going to affect your children. Your children, you might tell your children they had that come. That person had that come. Your kids might say, "Well, daddy, you know, or mommy, or I know you say they had that coming, but do you think you could have handled that better?" Or whatever. And you might say, "No." You know what I'm saying?
Hindsight is always 20/20, right? So like I look at things like what would I do if somebody's constantly talking about my kids? Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So I get, where Will is coming from as a father. Mm-hmm. I get that as a protector and everything. If somebody talking about my kids, all right, enough is enough. I probably is going to eventually put hands on you. Like, it's okay, enough is enough. But we had a conversation first. Don't talk about my kids, bro. Don't talk about my wife. Go somewhere else. Do another joke.
Right.
Like you said, right. Swing your jokes towards me, because I can take them jokes, but she's not taking those jokes well. So leave them alone.
Right. No. Barbed wire. That's not from where hers is actually autoimmune disease. I think hers is actually hereditary. So basically I'm assuming that wearing wigs and stuff like that could do it, but hers came from, it can come from hormonal imbalances. It can come from being just straight up hereditary. So it's not always a self-inflicted thing that it happened.
Yeah, to jump back, like what you said, shoulda, coulda, woulda, man. You do not know how you're going to react when you're put in that position. Nope. Like I said, it's so much stuff that I reacted on, and then later, once I cooled down and I got a calm and clear mind, I was like, damn, you know what?
That's right.
I should have handled it this way. But it's by that point, like you said, he reacted off emotion, which a lot of us do, and especially if it's a breaking point. Oh, you gonna spaz out? There's been times where I have blacked out and don't remember nothing until someone told me exactly what I did.
You did. Yep.
And then that's when it hits me full circle. Like, damn, what? Like that's yeah, man. You was tripping, bro. You really tried it, and I'll be like, nah, I didn't do that. And they be like, nah, yeah, you did. But you did. You reacting off the emotion. And when that boiling point comes and you black out, it's like your blood pressure is just high. And now, bam, it's shot through the roof. It's almost like you're incoherent for a moment because you're not yourself. It's almost like you're drunk, but it's your blood pressure. You don't know. So, I mean, like I said, I think in the end, like he could have handled it differently, but like he said, he was acting off emotion, and that was it. It just
and he admitted that in the apology that he reacted off emotion, and that's one thing that, like I said, me and T Lexus, shout out to my bro Trey, he actually in the chat. He could have handled, like I said, me personally, I would have just kept it player. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all consider this to be part of their job?
Huh?
Y'all consider like going to award shows that part of their job? Like, is that, like
no, because you can decline that shit. You can say I'm not coming.
You can, right? You can, right? Okay, but it's recognition of what you have done, correct?
Yeah, if you nominated for something, yeah.
Right. If you're nominated for something.
Uh-huh.
So I just feel as though like this is kind of like I can't. It's an apples to oranges comparison because I'm not famous, you know. But in my profession, we have had award ceremonies or whatever where
Mad too, Jack.
you know what I'm saying. That's not a time to wild out. That's not a time to wild out because you have all these people coming from all different parts of my district coming to see this award, you know, ceremony or whatever for the performance that such and such did here, such and such did there, you know, or whatever, you know. And we've had some jokes that was thrown out there, you know, whatever. Or for another instance, when my mom passed in 2017, somebody made a joke about my mom. Never met my mom or this, that, and the other, whatever. They also didn't know that she had passed. I just was like, yo, bro, my mom is not alive. My mom not here with us no more. You gotta chill with the jokes. You never know. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's a joke that you crack with your friend or something that you know like that. But you can't crack those type of jokes with me.
Yeah, but Jack, you know what the difference was with that though? You thought you didn't react off emotion to that situation. Because I can tell you right now, with that situation you just said, and I've been put in that situation where, like, when my grandmother died, my boss, she at the time she was from England, and she had made a joke. It was like, "Oh man, I guess it's gonna be a very sad Christmas for you that now that your grandmother's gone." And she laughed. And luckily for me, one of my coworkers knew and grabbed me up out of there because they knew I was about to react off of emotion. And that's how he reacted. He reacted off of emotion. And I get what you're saying at the time and the place that he was at the Oscars. It's center stage. All the lights are on you. But it's like, bruh, there's no, like, in a way, yes, everybody needs to keep their emotions in check. But sometimes, you don't know. Your emotions just get the best of you. We're all human.
Or Jada ain't grab him.
To be honest, somebody brought that up too. At the same time, I don't think Jada even knew
what he was
going to do, what he was about to do. I don't really think that. I think that she probably, like, when he got up, everybody was looking, and I think that's like, yo, he probably was just gonna go up there, do something crazy, or say something to him. She probably even thought, like how Judge said, he was gonna keep it. He was gonna keep it player
because that's his. You know what I'm saying? That's his MO. People, you know what I'm saying? People, when people think about Will Smith, they don't think about Will Smith, the man, the adult. They don't think about that. They think about the Will Smith comedian, playful, the whole nine. So when he got up out his chair, and this is not making an excuse for him, when he got up out his seat, most people probably didn't think he was about to do what the hell he did. He was finna do.
How long Jada and Will been married?
No, that he wasn't going up there to get that man a hug.
How long has Jada and Will been married? How do you not know how this man about to move?
CG,
they've been married way too long for her to not know that. Now he say about to go up there and open hand slap him, but not to know that it's about to get ready to go up there and he about to get ready to check the situation.
No, but like I'm saying, like how Jug was saying, I think for the simple fact, she probably felt like, yo, he was probably going to go up there. When he started walking up on the stage, I think, with the exception of Jada, everybody thought, like Jug said, he was about to do something real playful.
He was going to do something play. He was going to do something play.
But
as far as Jada is concerned,
that was the expectation for him to go up there and do something.
I'm not talking about everybody else. Who knows this man? Who
knows
this man better than himself?
Or Jada probably should have been just like, called his name to see if he, you know what I'm saying, he checked back in. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to say he checked out, but you can clearly see that was his breaking point. And she probably could have been like, hey, Will, you know what I'm saying, babe, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And
but like I said,
basically went up there and just grabbed that mic and be like, hey man, I ain't appreciate that. So after this, we gonna holler about it, but it's cool. And gave him like a little friendly hug and kind of laughed it off. And you know what that would have did with the media? The media would have interviewed both of them to find out what the fuck he said.
I think, like I was saying, as far as Jada, first off, we never saw the angle of before he got up, because in a way, Jada might not have even been looking at Will when he got up. She might have been looking at the stage, number one.
Right.
But two, I think that she didn't expect him to slap him. Like Judge said, I think he probably went up there because he got up so fast. He probably thought she was going up there and whisper something in his ear, like, you know what I'm saying? And then when he smacked him, like I said, you saw everybody's reaction in the audience, like, whoa, wait a minute.
Chris Rock wasn't expecting barbed wire.
Exactly. That's why he was standing
never
there.
expecting for the man. Chris Rock was still in play mode. When he said the joke, he was just like, uh-oh. And he's still up there laughing and talking and everything. He didn't even expect that shit. Because that's not Will's MO. I put it in this perspective. Like we said, you never know what you're going to do till you put in a position. Me and my wife was coming out of a grocery store, and, you know, women wear dresses and stuff like that. It was like a 60, almost 70-year-old man looked at my wife and was like, man, I want to know how far up that tattoo goes. Part of me wanted to swing, but the reality part of me was like, hey, man, come on, let me talk to you for a second. I was like, that's my wife, man. I was like, you'll never know how far that tattoo goes. Respect my wife, man. And he was like, oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I didn't mean it. Like shit, like hell, you didn't. You said it. But go on about your business,
Exactly.
Go on about your business.
I said it. But yeah, like T Lexus is saying, at the end, it is a bad because everybody's going to look at Will as the representative of us. And it's messed up because this is really going to stain him for a while, only because we've never seen him react in this manner. So it's going to be one of those joints. Like I said, like the comments that I've seen, people talking about, oh man, he need to be in jail. Chris Rock should sue him. It's like, come on now, like really? I can see if this man had
destroy him.
Yeah, now I can see if this man had a history of doing stuff like this.
Or the cancel culture came out.
Yeah, he's never, bruh. I'm talking about. That's what I'm saying. People talking about he should be in jail. You know what I'm saying? Chris Rock should sue. All this stuff, and it's like, yo. Granted, it wasn't right what he did. It was out of line. It's not being condoned. We're holding him responsible for what he did, but that's not in his character. Like I said, I could see if this was something that he did on a regular basis. He was just going around hitting people, getting in fights, doing this, that, and the third.
Right.
But we've never ever seen this from him. So that's how, for me, it's like, yo, I can't even bash that man because, yo, he made a huge mistake in the public eye. That's what it was. He reacted off emotion and made one big mistake. Now he's gonna have to come back from that.
Facts. I just think at this point it was one of them situations where things went too far. Chris has taken jabs at Will and Jada years before this. Because during the whole protest, when they wanted diversity in the awards to begin with, he took a jab at them. You know what I'm saying? And that's just, you know, sometimes you gotta, again, I can't tell you how to react, Fresh. I can't tell you how to react, Jack. I can't tell CG how to react. But as a brother and considering myself to be a brother, I will say, hey, bro, think about it. Now, if you decide to go and do what you do, that's on you. That's on you. But at the same sense, man, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta, like he said, I mean, to sum it all up, you gotta roll with the punches, man. I hear every day, man, you know what I'm saying? You know, like, you know, me and my wife always out. She has a Facebook, I have a Facebook. I got people who think because she's not posting me on her Facebook every day that our marriage is in fucking turmoil. No,
that's just stupid perception.
That's just a dumbass perception. She have to put me on her social media.
A person can post a person every day. That shit could be in shambles. You know what I'm saying? That's just perception.
Bro,
with social media is nothing more than just highlights. You know, that's a completely different. That's a completely different thing. I ain't even going down that avenue.
And when you allow social media to dictate your relationship, dictate to how you treat your family, that shit don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know, like, just how you said it, I know people who, my world, my this, my that, and they talking about their girlfriend or their fiance or whoever, and they arguing with these motherfuckers every single
they hate them.
day.
It's all perception. So, like, even with this situation, the way that we perceive, or in the beginning, we perceive Will and Jada to be this power couple, you know, like in the beginning, because, you know, none of it was, you know, because none of this stuff had leaked out, you know, prior to that. So just like we perceive Will to not be human at times, you know, and I'm not saying he's not allowed a fuck up moment. Hell, before it is all said and done, he will have a few more in life. This is the way that life works. The way you bounce back from this is what makes you gangster in my, you know what I'm saying? It makes you gangster in my eyes. But that'll mean that this discussion shouldn't happen. Like, the discussion has to take place, because this is the platform, what was said and what led up to this, and what we have seen in his past, as far as his family go and as far as his marriage go. It has to be put out there on the table.
Abby, I don't think it'll be a week. I think, like I said, people are going to, I'd say maybe a month, it'll probably stop being talked about, because people are so hell-bent on pointing out, you know, the situation. And now they're talking about, oh, well, for the next Oscars, we need to take better steps so stuff like this can't happen. And they're already talking about probably taking back his Oscar and stuff like that. So I think it's going to be more than a week. But what I've told people is, and I've been seeing it from comments and people saying, oh man, you know what? He did this at the Oscars. That's all they're going to talk about. In a way, you don't have to talk about it. You don't have to speak about it. But you chose to speak about it. Why? Because you want to, and you know that's going to bring you those views in, because you're talking about it. We don't even have to be talking about it right now, but we're just discussing it. But we could easily talk about Questlove getting the Grammy. Like I said, talk about the fact that Will is only the 5th black man to even get this award. Stuff like that. We could talk about it.
Didn't they give Samuel? They had
to give him an honorary one.
They gave him an honorary that Denzel presented to him.
An honorary one. How many films has Samuel Jackson been in where he already deserves that? But this goes back to what I was saying earlier. I don't understand why us as black people feel this need to be accepted by the Oscars or by the Grammys, especially when you say, like, oh, they don't like us. They don't like our culture. They not for us. So why do you feel that you'd be so accepted?
We make our own table. We don't need to see the table.
But that's what I'm saying. We got our table, but nobody supports it. We got NAACP Image Awards. It's been doing it for years. But when them joint come on TV, what happened? Their ratings are low. But then at the same time, we also have these black celebrities accountable, because people like Will, people, and as much as I hate to throw them out there because it's my boy, even Hov, Beyonce, these high black people don't even go to these awards.
Nope. Nope. To address a couple of things in the chat, Abby, you're right. Samuel Award was not televised. And barbed wire, this has to stop with women controlling. But you know what though, barbed wire, with that's been going on for centuries, where I'm not gonna say all women, but some women can manipulate a man's mind. Wars have been started because of some women. I'll put it that way. I'm not going to say all women, because all women will step up and just say, no, hey, look, babe, I know you might want to put hands on that dude, but that ain't the time. That ain't the place. Be cool. It's all right. I'm good. Are you good? You're going to have some women to do that. You're going to also have some women that, at Will was laughing and she didn't find it funny. I ain't find that funny. Why are you laughing? And she might leave it alone if he chill. Some women gonna be, the turn up. You ain't gonna go up there and do nothing about that. He just talked about my medical condition. Now she Now she putting that battery in his back. You gonna have a whole variation of different people.
But that's not what happened. But that's not what happened. Her expression may have led to that reaction, but that's not what she expected her husband to do. And I'm sure
No,
it's not.
It's not.
You know,
Exactly, Kiwan. That's what I've been saying. She just said we are good enough to host the Oscars and Grammys, but not enough to win one. That's my point.
Yep.
Why the hell do we need to be accepted so much for them? Prime example, Angela Bassett has never won one, which is insane to me.
yeah.
Like really, Monique had to play Precious to win one. She had the role she had to play in Precious. That's what got her Grammy, which is sad. It's like really. So, and to go back what Jack said, Denzel had to play the crooked cop.
He had to be crooked before he took it.
He had to be.
Jada said that.
Yes, and I remember him actually winning, and he said his son told him to play that part. So, with that being said, you got a young boy like, yeah, go ahead and play this part. You got it.
But it's because of how we're typecasted. It's how we're typecasted. You know, there's no diversity in the roles that Black actors and actresses get. They're typically pretty much synonymous across the board in Hollywood. You know, very rarely do you see Black actors and actresses depicted in a positive light. So, you know, it's what we have to do to get through to survive the moment, or whatever the case may be. I think all of that is a bigger issue that probably does need to be discussed. But there are parallels that brings us to this situation right here. But I think this situation here was just overreaction. It was anger. It was misplaced. And it was at the wrong place at the wrong time. I mean, that's the bottom line to where we're at with this. All these things that you guys are saying, all these things that we're talking about in the chat are 100% factual, 100% true. But none of this boils down to the moment in time that allowed this to happen, that made this happen. You know, we can point the finger and say who's at fault, or whatever the case may be. It's just sad that it has to be this way for us. It's always like this. It's like I said earlier, we're always perceived as the villain. We're always perceived as somebody that's going to do some harm to you, or somebody that's going to overreact to a bad joke, or whatever the case may be. And it's just sad that that's what we look at as the Black community, and it doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense at all. At all. But you know what I'm saying? Still at the same time, these Black actors, like I said, man, I don't get it. 1 minute, y'all want us to be involved.
That's right.
You know, and then the next minute it's like, oh man, see now look what we do. We acted up when we got our turn. We don't need them, bruh. Like at this point, it's 2022, man. It's 2022. Like we don't need them. Like we should already be giving each other flowers already.
That's right.
We should already be giving them flowers. But when it's time to give those flowers, what happens? Oh, we disappear. We go into hiding, or we hide behind a curtain and stuff like that. Like I said, I don't get it. People stay screaming pro-Black this, pro-Black that, but when it comes down to it, disappear.
All right, so I guess we'll go ahead and wrap up. This was a very heated discussion. Not necessarily heated, but it was a very passionate discussion. We knew that it was going to be. We knew that we all felt very strongly about what we saw, or what we heard, and what we read on social media. And I think that's the part that just bothered us the most, is how everyone just took it and ran with it, and just, you know, it should have been something that was handled behind scenes, and it should have been something that we, as the world right now, are not talking about. But, you know, I pray for both of them, and I hope that this situation doesn't tarnish his career. I don't think that it necessarily will. I think he'll be forever remembered by this experience, and you know, it's how he moves forward in life to get past this. So, any final thoughts?
I'm gonna really say that I just hope that before you react off of emotion, which is hard to do, before you react off of emotions, you just sit back and you think about it for a quick second. Take 10 seconds to think about it for a quick second, and then come to some type of conclusion or some type of resolve after you sit back and you think about what what you're about to get ready to do, and definitely what you're about to get ready to say on both sides of the table. If it's him making a joke or whether it's him walking up there, and smacking him. I'm not saying that Chris Rock was right. I'm not saying that Will was right. He's right to defend his wife's honor. I'm not necessarily going to sit here and say that I applaud the way he decided to defend his wife honor or applaud anybody who decides to just wild out off of that without having that conversation and setting that boundary. Set the boundaries, move forward, get past this, and let's move on.
I agree. I agree totally, but some people ain't gonna. Some not gonna let it die down. It's still gonna be that instead of this being. I agree with Will. Instead of this being a one of those great moments, you know what I'm saying? It's gonna be stained, and it's always gonna be, never that he won the Oscar. It's gonna be the time he smacked Chris Rock.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's never gonna be that. It's never gonna be that accolade that he achieved. Is going to be the moment he smacked Chris. The day. Oh yeah, that's the time he smacked Chris Rock. It's gonna always be. It's always
going to be remembered for. Yep.
It's always gonna be that. Oh, that's the time he smacked Chris Rock. Are you talking about when he smacked Chris Rock at the award? It's gonna always be that. But I mean, I could definitely see the misplaced anger in this situation. I could definitely see the breaking point in this situation. I can definitely see that so much was allowed that you to tell the buddy you always that you get the shot first when you walk in the room. Man, everybody got to take that shot, and I'm sure they've become numb to the marriage jokes. I'm sure they have. If this was one of those moments where it was a marriage joke and one of them flipped out, I would have even said, damn, what you mad for? Like, man, y'all was laughing at this. Y'all was okay with it. Y'all let it go out there like that. But this was one of them moments. It's like, man, that man ain't okay. What's going on? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he need that. You know what I'm saying? He need that sit down time, man. He definitely need that sit down time to figure that out. Because that was definitely a breaking point.
Fresh, any final thoughts for you?
Final thoughts. Like you said, man, it's sad and it's a shame that it got stained. You know what I'm saying? It really is, and I hate the fact that that's all people going to talk about for like Jug said. Every time, I guarantee you, when the next Oscars come, they're going to bring it up. It's going to keep getting talked about. It's sad, but at the same time, man, I guess it's also showing that, like, hey, celebrities are humans as well. Because look what happened. He reacted off his.
Gotta stop putting them on pedestals, man. Because he's human. You don't know what that man deal with on a day-to-day. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's
overall at the end, I just hope everybody use this as a learning lesson, to make sure you get your emotions checked, not to react off your emotions, as well as, people say, like, hey, before you make that joke, think about it. Like, just because like I said, everybody, and I get it, comedians, they feel like some of them should feel like this should be off limits, which I get, you know what I'm saying? Because it's the comedy side, but you always got to remember that, like, everybody's not laughing. So, I mean, but the main thing is, hopefully, Will, which we can see, Will learn this lesson. Just hope he gets the help he needs. Him and, Chris, they do some type of sit down. I don't know, whatever, but I just hope it's a learning lesson just for everybody, especially as far as your emotions are involved.
Yep, I agree. I agree, man. I just think it's ending bad for all parties because we all know the world and how things are. Let's just say hypothetical. Let's just say hypothetical, and we haven't heard it yet. We don't know how it's gonna go down and how it's gonna play out. I hope it doesn't. But look how things get portrayed, and look how bad things get. If we were to see that based off of this situation and the joke that Chris made, women across the world just started, you know what I'm saying, protesting. That's a whole nother thing we have to deal with because they have alopecia, and now we have to be sensitive. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, you should be sensitive and have do's and don'ts anyway. You should have morals about yourself where you're not crossing specific lines. I will never look at a woman and say, man, damn, she bald head. That's not cool. That's not all right. You don't know if she cut her hair like that. You don't know if she is losing her hair. And women are more prone to be more self-conscious about the way they look and the way they feel before a man is. So this can go into one of them. It could go into one of them things where Chris sees some protests on him, like, man, that wasn't right, and now you got a whole big situation, and you're losing out on opportunities of a lifetime to do better things in your life because of a a a a, a low joke. So everybody, it's pretty much like this. Nobody wins when a family feuds. That's it. That's it. That's all.
All right. So I guess we're gonna go ahead and get out of here tonight. We appreciate y'all coming and hanging out with us tonight on this Monday night. For this special edition cocktail hour. Kind of turned into a
We definitely appreciate y'all.
We'll be back later on this week, y'all. We appreciate it.